Welcome to Suburban Warrior, the podcast that will impact, inspire, and empower you to transform your mindset and become the badass warrior that you are. I'm your host and fellow warrior, Chrissy Pfeiffer, former clinician and corporate marketing exec turned multi-passionate entrepreneur, performance and life coach, and mom to 4 not-so-little warriors. Each week, I will bring you honest conversations with inspiring guests to share their stories of resilience, optimism, success, and simple yet effective strategies so that you transform your thoughts and change your behavior to get the results you want in your life. You will be empowered to take action, warrior up, and believe in you. Let's do this. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of the Suburban Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, and this week I am here with not only a dear friend, but Mrs. Pennsylvania herself. And let me tell you, this is going to be a fun episode because we are going to get down to the nitty gritty. We are going to get the ins and outs of the beauty pageant world, and we are going to understand sort of what makes someone like Ashley Meyers, mom, wife, mainline fashionista, get into the world of beauty pageants. And listen, let me tell you, inquiring minds want to know. So let me introduce Ashley Meyers. She is the CEO of Mainline Fashionista. She's a guest host on QVC, and she is Mrs. Pennsylvania America 2021. She is an award-winning fashion stylist, on-air host, and reigning Mrs. Pennsylvania America. Since 2005, Ashley has made a mark on the fashion industry, inspiring women and young girls alike to live their truth and build confidence through fashion. From the start, Ashley worked with clients one-on-one to now sharing tips and tricks across the nation on QVC, ABC, and NBC. As Mrs. Pennsylvania, you will see Ashley volunteering her time and energy to organizations like Wings for Success and the Pediatric Cancer Foundation to spread joy and inspire awe that it's never too late to follow your dreams. Ashley is a mom to 3 beautiful children and a wife to her college sweetheart. She resides on the main line and for fun plays tennis, enjoys running, and of course, shopping. Well, welcome to the podcast, girl.
Hi, Chrissy. Thanks for having me back.
Love you. Gosh, I'm so excited. And let's clarify. So we're having you back on because I believe it was in season 1. I had you on, to talk all things fashion as the mainline fashionista and also talk about what it's like as a woman and a busy mom to build a business and sustain it. And, I just had to have you back on because like I said, inquiring minds want to know because now you're Mrs. Pennsylvania 2021, which is absolutely amazing. And anyone who follows you on Instagram, and if you don't, you absolutely should, Mainline Fashionista, because I know so many people have gone through this journey with you of Mrs. Pennsylvania and Mrs. America. And, we see you in these gorgeous gowns and your hair and your makeup and your crowns. And it's so fun to follow along with you on this journey. And I know so many people feel the same way. So I was like, I have to have her on. We need to talk about it. What was it like? What your mindset was? Because I think it takes a lot of courage and vulnerability to do what you're doing. And I can't wait for all my listeners to hear about it.
That's awesome, Chrissy. You're so sweet. It's funny because, I'm just out there kind of doing it, making it up as I go. And, for you to say that it is fun to watch and it is inspiring, that makes me feel so good to keep going because a lot of times it's like these quiet moments that you're like, what am I doing? So it really does feel so good to be like, knowing that people are like cheering you on that are just kind of out there because, as a mom, we kind of make a lot of stuff up during our day. We've got, laundry to switch. We've got kids to hustle to, activities after school. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we providing back to the family and to the community? So that's kind of where I started with this whole thing. It was like, all right, let's do something besides, just the norm, because I like to kind of push it. I like to see how far I can go until I feel like, okay, I'm going to break now.
Well, that's the thing that I love, right? Like you're totally pushing it because let's be honest, like prior to the beauty pageant and going for Mrs. Pennsylvania, you weren't really, I would say, just sticking to the norm, right? You were still building your business, mainline fashionista, on your QVC host, like you were already definitely pushing it. So I want to know how did it like happen that you decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to go for it and enter a beauty pageant, Mrs. Pennsylvania, because it's not like you were already in that world, right? And here
No.
you are, 40 something mom.
Yep.
Yeah, you're building a fashion business and consultancy and all of that stuff. But the beauty pageant thing was totally separate. So I just love
Yeah.
the fact that
Yeah.
you stepped out of your comfort zone and was like, I'm going to do this. So I want to know what that thought process was like for you.
I wish that there was more of a thought process, Chrissy, because that's kind of how I ended
Maybe
up
that's
here,
the key.
right, exactly. I put very little thought into that moment. And so now I'm like, what am I doing? So I get this phone call. Okay, so basically, I mean, if you guys know and follow me, I'm wearing fancy outfits. I'm out there, volunteering anyway. I'm, part of this community, and I'm just like trying to make a name for myself. So I get a phone call from the director of the state pageant. This woman, Susan, she's actually works with Ava a lot to get her out there modeling. She owns and runs Barbizon. So she took on being the director of this program. So she calls me and she's like, Ashley, you cannot say no. You have to say yes. And I'm like, to what? What are you talking about? And she's like, I am nominating you to run for Mrs. Pennsylvania. And I literally laughed. Like I fell off my chair laughing. First of all, who knew that there was a pageant for like the Mrs. category? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm married, 3 kids. Like, what's happening here? And I'm picturing now high heels and a bathing suit. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't even wear a bathing suit around the pool. I'm like in my athletic clothes, like under an umbrella, like hiding. So, but there was something interesting inside of me that like drew me into the idea of like, post COVID, like we don't have that many places to go. We don't have that many places to, things to do. So it was almost like we had to create kind of our own. Like we were creating lunches on the deck with friends. We are creating like walking with like our small little community. Like we're creating these like fun things to go do. And so to me, it was like I was a little bit like forcing or creating this like get out there, get dressed, go do more, volunteer, go do something. So it was like a post-COVID kind of thing for me. Like I need to get back out there and push it a little bit more. So, I slept on it and I like walked with my husband. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, maybe like, why not? Like there was no moment that I was like, how do I answer? Why not? So I call her back and I'm like, all right, what do I have to do? And she tells me it's all the classic, like, literally beauty pageant things. I'm like still laughing about it. I like that word to me still, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, all right, fine. And I didn't have much time. So it was only like 5 weeks later was when it was going to happen. So again, I had no time to like really think about it because I probably could have talked myself out of it. So I just said yes. And I was like, great. Like, what do I need to do? So I arrive and it's all these women that are like, they know what they're doing. They've done this before. They know the heels to buy. They know the walk. I mean, I played sports. So to me, it was like standing up straight wasn't like a thing. Like I had to like put my shoulders back and stick things out, but suck it in and like tighten here. And it was like, I watched the videos. I'm like, how did I win? I don't know. I still look at the videos. I'm like, I don't know. I must have wowed them in the interview process because that was about 60% of it. Thank God. Because I can talk and chat and whatever, but up in the stage in the bathing suit, I'm like, oh my goodness. But that whole experience was super fun. Winning is always like the best part. It's just crazy. And so after I won, they come up to me and they're like, well, now you get to go compete in Mrs. America. And I was like, wait, what? Like I legit had no idea. I thought
you're like, I got the crown. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm out. Yeah.
Done. Like,
yes.
Boom. Like, cool. And I was like, wait, huh? I like, there's like question marks on all of this. Like, what is happening? So then it's like, you have to go to Las Vegas for 2 weeks against 49 of the most amazing, beautiful, entrepreneurial, philanthropy, like huge volunteers for their state. They've been doing this for years. Like you have to leave your family, leave your job, and go now compete against like the real girls. And I was like, oh, so that's when it was like, I need to like, wow, really? And now I only had 6 weeks for that one. So,
right.
So I'm like,
again,
great.
Thank God, no time to think, because it's better that way. Yes.
That's actually it. That's like will be the key to this whole
thing. That was
like
the blessing, because you can't overthink
blindly.
it. Yes.
No, yes. And especially when you're brand new, you can't. So I think that's the part where everyone was like joining in because I was so new. I had won, you know what I mean? So there was a reason why I was going to Mrs. America, clearly. And I was representing the state. And, I had committed to leaving the family. I had committed to this whole process. And I was like, you know what, Ashley, if you're going to say yes to this, you have to do this 110%, because I don't have any other choice in this. To me, it was like, go all in. So now I'm watching YouTube videos on how to walk. Now I'm looking up outfits. Now I'm like really learning about interview questions. I'm really digging in. I'm learning about the other girls that are out there, being inspired by what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, there's a reason why someone gave me this. I need to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And I went there like going after it, because that's just what I do. And it was really fun and uncomfortable at the same time. It pushed me to a place that just was so focused, and also kind of like letting the universe come to me. So it was like, I have a journalism background, so I'm very curious and interested in other beings in general, like you are too, Chrissy.
Yeah.
So a huge part of me went there to do almost investigative journalism. Yeah. I was like, I want to understand why I'm doing this, and I want to understand why these other women are doing it. And then there's this competition level too to it. So it was like, I'm now competing against you guys. I'm competing against myself, and I want to know what's going on here. It was fascinating. It was,
oh my God, I can imagine.
Truly fascinating. I have to share a room with another girl from a different state, Ohio. She ended up being fantastic.
Yeah. For 2 weeks. So it's like going back to college, right? It's like going back to college days.
During finals week only.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Because you're super stressed.
Like no partying, there were extracurricular activities, but still focused on the main goal. You'd go to bed early, wake up early, you never really left the hotel room. And it's like, that's a weird thing too, because like, you're in Las Vegas, but like, you're just kind of looking out the window and you're like, oh my gosh, no lineup today. And everything would change all day long. They'd be like, okay, meet here at 10. And then at like 9:45, it's like, oh, never mind. Put your swimsuit on. We're going to the desert, and then you're like, okay. And you get home from the desert, like dinner, but oh no, wait, sorry. We have to do pictures first, and put this shirt on. And you're like, Yeah. And I kind of love that. I like thrive in those like chaotic moments. So I was like down for that, but some of the other girls like weren't. And I think, what I took home was, there's this thing called pageant hangover, where you come home and you are like exhausted, headaches, like skin is dry, hair's falling out, like nails are cracked, your brain is fried. And it takes you like so long to like process like what happened. Like I couldn't even like look at a picture forever. And then the holidays happened. And so it wasn't really until January that I could like really process like what was going on. And my therapeutic moments were actually now interviewing the women afterwards. So I started this Instagram series called the Queen's Edition, where I'm now going back and I'm trying to chat with all 49 women to like hear their story and learn about them, because it was so intense to be there. And I mean, truly, I've never done anything like it. I won't do it again. Like I'm totally done.
Right.
But I'm so glad. Yeah. I'm so glad that I did it, because it was so strange.
So strange. Yeah. But okay. So
because now I'll go back and I'll tell you why. Okay. Yeah. Because number one, I've arrived to your podcast. If you're listening to this, I have a sequence dress on. It's 10 in the morning. I have a banner on with rhinestones that says Mrs. Pennsylvania in red, white, and blue. And I have a about 4-inch tall crown that sits on top of my head in full makeup. Okay. Yet
Full
I'm
hair
here to
and
talk.
makeup. Full
Oh,
hair
okay.
and
Sorry.
makeup.
Full hair and makeup and
Yeah.
big
Big,
earrings,
beautiful earrings. You look
big,
gorgeous.
big,
Like, oh
that
my
weigh like
gosh.
1,000 pounds. So, but the deal is, but yet I am here to talk about like my heart, my brain, volunteerism, what I'm doing for my community and my family. So it's like this. So I say it's strange because I'm spewing all of these like great things, but yet I look half ridiculous and half awesome. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's a weird
that's why it's like
juxtaposition of, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean, but
Well, because you're looking at me, you're like,
well, and
yeah,
I
okay,
think,
Ashley.
I think why it works, at least for me, from my perspective, is because that's who you are. Like, crown or no crown, you're a queen, right? You're well, no, you are. Like, you are just a beautiful woman inside and out, and your whole mission in life is to encourage women and inspire women through beauty and fashion. So, seeing you with the sash and the crown and your sparkling dress right now as we're podcasting and I showed up in my sweats. Yeah, it's a little strange, but it would be more strange if I was in it. Right? You know what I mean? So it works. And so a couple of things I just want to kind of go back and unpack about what you were saying is, first of all, I love the idea that, when the woman called you, she was like, you have to say yes. And you were like, okay, I'm going to think about it. Why not? And I just said yes, because, sometimes I think in life, yeah, we shouldn't say yes to everything, but there are times that we can't let our self-doubt talk us out of things, right? Because that's where we find the adventure and the growth in our lives. And, the whole thing around it's never too late, which I know you and I have talked about because obviously we collaborated on Suburban Warrior apparel and we have a limited edition t-shirt that you and I collabed on that says it's never too late. But we did that because obviously our brands collided there because I love it's never too late, right? We're moms, we're in our 40s, our missions are very similar. And we talk about this all the time, but it is never too late to challenge yourself, to step out of the box, to do something cool, whether it's for 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, right? And I think that mindset that we have and we get in, especially as moms and in our routines and, shuttling the kids to school and doing the laundry, we get in these daily habits and daily routines that can kind of make us feel unfulfilled, right? I mean, I hear it from a lot of my clients. I know it for myself. And we're the only ones who can fill that bucket for ourselves, right? No one else
so true.
is going to come along and say, oh, I think you should, blah, blah, blah. We have to seek for ourselves, like what is going to challenge us? What is going to make us feel that sense of growth and passion and joy? And while was something completely out of the box for you and strange, as you put it, it is something that has now filled your bucket. And, you're an athlete. So here you are putting on the gown, but you love to compete, right? So it filled that bucket for you. And I love that. And I love that you went all in 110%, sharing that experience with everybody, being authentic and vulnerable on Instagram and saying, you know what? I decided I'm doing it. I'm going all in and I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks because that really was your perspective, right?
That's exactly it. So it's like, I remember back when I was doing that, like back when I was in the middle of a competition, I called you because I'm so lucky to have you as a friend, right? So, you just wrapped my little thing up into like a pretty package. You have that ability to do that. And I appreciate that because I like to think that I sort of have that ability when I listen to others too, that, when you are in the middle of it and sometimes you get twisted and turned, you need to call somebody to be like, okay, I can see what's happening here. Let me say it back to you. And what you said to me was, Ashley, it doesn't matter if you're doing a beauty pageant or you're starting a business or a podcast or whatever. You're out there doing something that will maybe turn on or inspire someone else to their thing. So it doesn't matter that it's like the strange, weird beauty pageant thing. It's the fact that it's something that's uncomfortable that you're out there reaching to do, that's where it's speaking to. And I was like, oh, Chrissy, thank you. Because I couldn't understand my why for a little, like couple moments, because I was like in the middle of it and it felt so vain and strange. But it was this moment, it was this moment of, I want to do something that's uncomfortable. And, nothing else was really at COVID time, like kind of coming. Yeah. And this one presented itself. And I was like, okay, let's do this, because I don't know when else I'll be able to find the time to do it. But it makes so much sense to me. And I so appreciate that, because, to the people that are at home listening or wondering or watching along and cheering me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, you're cheering me on. But like, do I really want to win or do I not want to win? But I want to do it 110%. But like, at the same time, I want to go put my sweats on too. So it's like, there is this like motivation in us that I wanted to share. There was like that drive at 43 years old to go out and just do it, whatever it is, go and grab it and shake it and make it your own in this weird thing and talk about it. So when you go to lunch or you go to dinner with friends, you have something else than just our kids to talk about. Because listen, we could talk all day about our children.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like shake it up and be like, I met this person, or, I got into this thing, and, really like got in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And inspire others to know that it's never too late. And while like the whole, everyone beauty pageant, it seems vain and stuff, but there's so much behind it that goes into it. And so much of what you did was philanthropic. I mean, giving back to all of these organizations, right? And creating awareness around the organizations and, that you support. So there's so much giving back there too, that of course, as we know, the more we give, we get in return. So that just definitely fills your bucket as well. Yeah. So
it does.
It's just incredible. Okay. So going through the process, you come home, obviously it takes you time to like recuperate from that. I think it's really interesting that there's like a pageant hangover, but that makes total sense to me, because I'm sure your adrenaline and your hormones are just going and going and going. You're always on, right? For 2 weeks, you're on. So that's a lot to pull off. So you have the hangover. Reflecting back, like what are a couple lessons that you felt like you learned from it?
That I can do it, that I still have that. I still have the power to turn it on and to focus and do it, because I hadn't been challenged in a way for that intense for so long. And it was so cool to see that I could still do that. Like I knew I could do it here at home on my turf, on, my setting, but to be thrown into a very uncomfortable situation and really just lean on myself and my interests and those little moments where you're like, talking to somebody that you like can still make those connections. I was proud of myself for that, for sure. I was proud of my family to support me in that way too, to let me go and go do my thing and come and watch. And actually the best part about this whole thing was how much my mom loved it. Aww. She was like, she was there. She loved the sparkle. She loved the judging of everyone coming out, all the different people that are involved and body shapes and personalities. And because I read these little like bios that you've written about yourself as you come out, in the gown, it's, about you. And then in the bathing suit, it's about you. And so you learn, and then your state costume. And then, so everyone's got all these interesting things. And my mom was like, oh man, Ashley, I loved this. I had no idea how much I loved it. Yeah, it is. It's super fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. And so she has that curious mind too. So she really enjoyed that. She wanted to wear a crown. So I just actually bought her one, and she's been posting in it, and
oh my God, I love that. That is so great. I mean, honestly, anybody can put a crown on, right? It's all how you feel.
Exactly. And man, if it makes you stand up taller, go for it. Right.
Exactly.
Best accessory.
So curious about, okay. So you talked a little bit about the bathing suit situation.
Yeah.
What was your mindset? Like, what did you have to tell yourself? Because like you said, like, I know, it's not super comfortable for anybody to put a bathing suit on and strut around the beach or the pool at our age. So while it should be fine. But listen, we all have the voice in our head. So let's just be honest here. What did you have to tell yourself in order to do that?
Oh,
Like,
Chrissy,
honestly.
that was a tough one. That
Yeah.
was probably the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
Like legit. Like I can talk and, share and who cares? Right. And then the gown, I'm like, yes, like, let me get in on this. The bathing suit, it's so exposing. There's nothing to hide behind. It's just you. And that's the part actually that ended up being my favorite because it exposed me in a way that I was like so proud. So for the first one I ever did, it was like this black bathing suit and I just wore black heels, like, black strappy heels that I have here at the house and spray tanned it up big time. I was so nervous though. So like I was always going to the bathroom, like always, like,
yes.
like my stomach would hurt, thinking about it.
And I totally know that feeling.
I have to go to the bathroom. So it was almost this like natural, like, you shed a couple of pounds just in that moment. Seriously, like the stress of it, like the sweaty bathroom, like those like things. So that was like round one for me. And I did it and I walked away from it and I was like, okay, I got this. And also you're backstage with all these other people in a bathing suit. And almost it was easier to walk on stage, not in a gown. So for me, like I had nothing. I just had to walk out there in a bathing suit and my legs. I actually don't mind my legs. So I was like, I'll just let that, be spray tan and just, think about that while I'm out there. So that was really awesome. And then for the one out in Vegas, oh my God. I mean, everyone was spray tanned. I mean, I was so dark. You couldn't see a flaw on me if you looked because I was so awesome. Bronzed. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so that's the key.
That is legit the key. The other one was the color. The bathing suit was this royal blue. Oh, and then the other one was the pair of heels that I ordered. I don't know if I told you the story.
I know the story. I love the story.
Okay.
You got to tell it. It's so good.
It's so great. So the director says to me after I win, she's like, all right, you're going to need a pair of clear high heels for nationals when you go to Vegas. And I'm like, okay, gotcha. She's like 6 inches. And I'm like, all right. So I get home, I'm Googling 6-inch clear heels. This is not something that Macy's or Bloomingdale's pops up. You're going to these websites that are like, I don't even know. So I'm deep into the Google world of 6-inch clear heels. And I order, I mean, they were probably about $37. I was like, good, boom, boom. I ordered 2 sizes, like no big deal. 2 days later, they arrive at my doorstep and I kind of had forgotten about them. As all online purchases, you get to the front door, you're like, oh, what is this? Have no idea. I look at my front door and there is a brown box with the black tape that says like the name of the business. And it's like, it literally says discountstripper.com. And I was like looking around, like, did any of my neighbors just see that this box arrived at my doorstep? I was like dying a thousand deaths. I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. I like grabbed the box, I pulled in and I kind of forgot what it was. And I opened it up. I'm like, oh damn. There are 6-inch clear stripper heels.
Yes.
Okay. Put these bad boys on immediately. Boom, boom. Like put them on. Like they're like, boom. Easiest things I've ever walked in. I mean, I was like, Drew, to my husband, I'm like, these heels are made for so much more than just walking. They're
made for dancing, girl.
Yeah. Dancing and a lot of other things. So when I put my bathing suit on and a pair of 6-inch clear stripper heels, your legs look so insanely good that you're like, got this.
Yeah.
No problem.
No problem.
This is a non-issue. I got it.
Oh my God. That is amazing. Well, you did tell me that story. First of all, I would love to see your FedEx guy's face when he's delivering that. But I remember you telling me the story. And then when I was watching your Instagram while you were out there and some of the photo shoots you were posting, I saw you in them. And I think I messaged you. I was like, those stripper heels look real good, girl. Real good. So there you go. Lesson learned. Like, maybe we all need some clear 6-inch heels to wear with our little shorts.
I got a link
skirts.
for you. I got a link for you. If you're interested, just message me. You don't have to do a deep dive on the internet. I got you.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. So that's great. So then you felt really confident going into that bathing suit situation.
I mean, it's all it takes, a mindset. Right? It is a mindset though. You have to get over yourself. You have to just own that part of it. And, I worked out and I actually did like keto diet. I felt like really good doing that. That helped like kind of like zone me in and, keep me focused. And then, yeah, the spray tan and the heels, like it's a good combo, you know,
I
and you
love
only
it.
have about 6 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I came home, I mean, as soon as I got off stage, I ate Junior Mints.
Oh,
I literally took a box. I texted Drew in between the two out there. I was like, get me some New York peppermint patties, like immediately. Like I haven't had a sugar in so long. And he's like,
oh
I
my
couldn't find New York
God.
peppermint patties. Like I eat Junior Mints. I was like, done, sold. So I'm back there, literally
In the
pouring
junior.
Junior Mints.
That
Yeah.
is so funny. That's your go-to. Mine would have been Reese's peanut butter cups, but
Ooh.
okay. So out of all these fascinating women that you met out there, was there anything like that, maybe one lesson that you learned from someone or one specific woman that like really fascinated you or a story that fascinated you? Like, because I would imagine that you met some really interesting, cool, maybe strange people out there. So anything that you were like, oh my gosh, this is something I'm not going to forget or a lesson
Yeah.
learned or something.
Oh yeah. The pageant for lifers. I mean,
Yeah.
they that's a different element. It's hard for me to compute. I respect, but it is hard for me to process that because there's a lot that is involved in it. I get the idea of wanting to go back and better yourself and try again. I do, because there's things that
Sure.
I would obviously want to change through my process. I mean, I've clearly thought about that, but I mean, I'm not going to do it again. But the girls that I like took home that I was like, oh my God, I love you. Like
Yeah.
Mrs. Oregon. So she works for Dress for Success. She's got 3 kids, husband, never done it before, took dance lessons before she came out because she was like, I don't know how to dance. I've got 2 left feet. Like she gave it 110% too. And for me, it was so fun to like, we would sit next to each other and we like chat, and we were both like, our mindsets were the same. And
Yeah.
so we would share like funny things that people had said to us, and I took home
Love
like
that.
a couple of weird things that people, like someone, came up to me and was like, are you going to wear that to your interview? Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, game on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm at a pageant with other women who want to tear you down, build you
Yeah.
up, but slash you, And
Mm.
I was like, yeah, love it. But it was a motivator for me.
Yeah.
Like that actually motivates me. And it's like little notes that I take down. Like my investigative journalism self is like, yes, 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 got it.
I
Because I
love
was
it.
looking for those personalities, and then they eventually do arrive. It's masked by a lot of makeup and big smiles, but it is totally in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, you eventually see it. So that part was very interesting, scary. And then I definitely took home some cool friends that I'm messaging still all the time. Like we'll, text each other, and
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. And
And
that
that's
my world got bigger.
exactly, which is so great. And I love that, that's such an important point, I think, that you made about different people's personalities and how they may be masked behind the makeup and smiles. Because listen, we're going to meet that everywhere in the real world, right? I mean, pageant life, mom circles, kids, friends, like whatever it is, like, there's always those people, unfortunately, that we come across in life. But I think the key is that you expected it and you knew it. And when it happened, you didn't let it take you down or tear you down or make you lose some self-confidence in yourself or double think like, oh, wait, should I not be wearing this to the interview? Like, you're just like, yeah, this is what I'm wearing. Got it. Like you expected it and you had the right mindset to not let it throw you at all. And I think that's just an amazing lesson in life, right? I mean,
Thanks, Chrissy. I mean, I guess I hadn't even thought about it really like that. I mean, I love that because that makes me feel good to hear you, say that. But yeah, because it does exist in all the other
yeah,
worlds. Like, I love playing tennis, and you go out and, someone arrives and they've got like big dimples and they're super sweet. And then all of a sudden it's like jab, jab, jab. And, I do a little bit forget. I'm like, oh
yeah,
God, right. Okay. And then you're quickly reminded.
yeah,
But that is a good thing for life, and also to share with our kids too, because they're experiencing that for the first time, at this young age of like middle school, high school. And it does always exist. It doesn't matter how old you are or where you are or what outfit you're wearing or what sparkly thing is happening. It is so there that us humans, there are different perspectives and we need to appreciate that. And what we do with it when it comes to us is the most important thing, right? So it's like, it's going to exist. And it's what you choose to do with that information or that voice. Don't let it knock you down. Don't let it change your perspective. Don't let it do, a step down from your mindset. Like stay strong in where you are and expect those little zings to come and just keep on going.
Yeah, I love that. Exactly. All right. So I want to ask something that is a little bit more fun because you're always gorgeous, like gorgeous. I mean, anytime I see you, whether you're dressed in your crown and your sash and your gown, or you're just wearing a cool outfit, you're just always put together in such a wonderful way. So share with us a couple beauty tips that we can take for the day, because listen, we're all coming out of COVID. I think we're all feeling, I don't know about anyone else, but like when I get dressed to go to events or dinner out, like I like forget how to dress. Like I feel like I used to like be so good. I'd throw things on and accessorize, and I kind of am like forgetting it. I like stare at my jewelry and I stare at my wardrobe, and maybe I'm alone in this, but I don't think so. So share with us some quick beauty tips that help us to give us a little bit more self-confidence, because that's what it's all about, right? We want to feel good about ourselves. So anything you can share with us that will help spruce us up.
I would say that number one, like hair is like so annoying sometimes to like get it right. So just put the hat on and don't worry about it. Like just take that one out of the element or pull it back, like make that one just go away.
Okay.
I think the next one is like a tinted sunblock, like an everyday tinted, like it's glowy, keep it in your purse. I love Elta. I think that's like the very best one to have. That's like a great, just boom. I actually, how people are really using like a highlighter here on your cheeks?
Yeah.
So I actually just have like a simple lip gloss. I even just put a little bit of my lip gloss right here at the top of my cheekbone and just kind of rub it in. So like as simple as that.
Love it.
Like Vaseline sometimes. Like it's just so lame, just a little on the top of my cheekbone and then fake it. Big smile and just fake it. Because sometimes if you smile, you're going to feel better on the inside.
Of course.
Like don't even fake it to somebody else. Just fake it to yourself.
Yeah.
So
totally.
big smile, push through that moment, just, I got
it. It does make you feel so much better when you smile, no matter what.
Oh my God. So my family growing up, this is a real thing. We would get in the car and we'd all be yelling at each other. It was so hectic and everyone, my home was like a yelling home.
Yes.
So you know those. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I know one. I live in one. We all talk very loudly to each other.
Everyone's just so loud. And so we get in the car and my mom would be like, next thing that comes out of your mouth, you're going to say with a smile. So I'd be like to my brother, Trip, you're really bothering me. Like you are really pissing me off right now. I don't like your outfit and you're so annoying and get away from me. But you're saying it with a smile and
which is
all
hysterical.
Of a sudden it changes everything.
It
right.
does.
And you're like, it does. So it's like, oh my God, it's so simple, you guys. Like I say it all the time. Like Annie sung it, like smile, like whatever, like just smile. And so all of a sudden, like what's happening in your brain, you're trying to tell someone how pissed you are.
Yeah.
But you have a huge smile on your face and now it just becomes funny and awesome. And you're everyone's now smiling.
Okay. So I absolutely love that tip. And I'm going to use that later today when I'm sure I'm yelling at one of my kids for the 100th time to like pick up their clothes off their floor or take the trash out or whatever it is.
Right. They're late. You're like, Ava, get out of your room. You're late. We had to leave. It was 5 minutes ago. And you're trying to say it and all you're doing is smiling.
They're going to think I lost my mind, but I'm totally going to do it. I love it. That is the best tip.
Like the best ever. So like you can see me smiling saying it.
But I can. And it is so funny.
So like if you just listen, it actually, you can tell that I'm smiling while I'm saying it. That's the craziest part. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. I loved watching your journey really from the time you started your business and through Mrs. Pennsylvania and Mrs. America. It is so fun. I think when I see you smile, I can tell that you're not faking it because I feel like it's so authentic. And I know that you're having so much fun doing what you're doing. And that's the best part, right? It's what makes you
Yep.
you and unique. And at the
It's
end
a
of the
choice though,
day,
Chrissy.
it's a
Yep.
choice. It is a
Yep.
choice. And at the end of the day, we all just need to do what makes us smile and makes
Yep.
us happy. And you're killing it. You're killing it. I'm so glad that all my listeners got to hear your super fun story and about your experience at Mrs. America and Mrs. Pennsylvania. So guys, if you're not already following Ashley, check her out on Instagram at Mainline Fashionista. She also has a Mrs. Pennsylvania account. So follow along. She's amazing. And you can certainly follow me at Suburban Warrior. And I'm so excited that you joined me today. Thank you, Ashley.
Oh, Chrissy, thanks for having me. Listen, I love just keeping it real. That's what we're doing. And we got to do it together because it's so much more fun. Yeah, it really is.
It's all about doing it together, right? That's what we need. Yep. We need the support from each other, and together we're better always. So thanks so much, guys. Be sure to check out another Suburban Warrior episode next week when I have another amazing warrior here to share with you. Talk to you guys next week.